And that moves us smoothly to the next on the agenda, which is we have recap of the day and key learnings, but we will want to defer that till after the next panel, which is a 10-minute panel that will be moderated by Nana Kojo Ejiri Dadzi, GRIC Program Assistant. Is Nana Kojo Ejiri Dadzi around? Okay. So let's give our panelists and moderator a round of applause for such an insightful panel. Shall we also welcome the next panel, the moderator, Nana Kojo Ejiri Dadzi. Let's welcome him. Your panel has 10 minutes. The next will be the panelists. We have an assistant research scientist from the CSIR Science and Technology Policy Research Institute, Marilyn Asiedu Sefa, a PhD student as well. We also have, let's give you a round of applause. We also have a Chief Enabling Officer, Federation of Feed Producers Ghana, representative from government, Asiwumi Jineku. Is Asiwumi Jineku. Okay, we also have the country technical lead, the RISA Fund, Gameli Ajaho. Let's give Gameli a round of applause. Gameli is here. Yes. Nana, you have 10 minutes. In fact, with just the two panelists, you have 8 minutes. So 2 rounds. Yeah. 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, MC. Thank you everyone for staying, for coming this far with us. It's been a very rich and thought-provoking day. We've had so many sessions, we've learned so much. We are appreciating the industry as it's shaping out to be the research commercialization industry, and we are all...
just a second, I'm told that one Euphoria Santi is supposed to be on the panel. Is he here? Let's give him a round of applause. So you have 9 minutes. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause. Staying till the end. Please, the round of applause. Staying till the end to be on your panel shows resilience. Thank you.
Yes, it's true. I resonate with that. Staying on the panel, indicates out to the end of the event, indicates resilience. 8 minutes. We'll do this very quickly, Mr. MC. Thank you very much. It's congratulations to all of us for making it this far. It's been a wonderful day, as I said earlier, very rich, very thought-provoking, and we want to go quickly into this panel discussion. Thank you very much, everyone on the panel too, for being here up to now. This panel is really going to be centered on 3 questions. It's the last panel of the day, the closing panel of the day, but the objective for us being here, first of all, is to be able to reflect on what has happened today, understand what we've learned about the ecosystem, what are the gaps in the ecosystem, and in the positions we find ourselves in, what commitments can we make, what programs can we design, what solutions can we co-create to be able to actually bridge these gaps. So these are the last conversations we want to have for the day, and I'll pass the mic on to you for the first one. If you can also introduce yourself.
All right, thank you very much. So my name is Marilyn Asiedu Sefa, also an assistant research scientist with the CSIR STEPRI. And I want to say that today's forum has shown us something clear, that Ghana is not short of ideas, talent, or innovation. What we often lack is the bridge between research and practice. And that has been made clear from all the panelist discussions we've had today. And every section has actually emphasized that partnership is the material of that. And that can lead from the policy level to early stage financing, from communication strategies to pathways of engagement. So that has been clearly defined in this forum, the section today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sajwa. Gamili, I don't know if you can take some reflections from you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Gamali Ajao from the Riser Fund, and I'm sitting close to Marilyn, who I sat close to maybe last year. So it's the same scenario is playing. Unlike last year, I don't know, maybe you're using your notebook, but she has very detailed notes, bolded. So now I don't know what else to say because she's covered everything that's supposed to be said. But yeah, two key things from our session earlier. Um, we realized that there's the impetus um, from both researchers and then as well as some industry stakeholders or some investors when it comes to commercializing of research. We've had some really concrete examples of initiatives that are being done. For example, the partnership in Nigeria where a private investor is coming in to support innovators who are testing early stage research driven ideas. So that impetus to co-create the solutions that will satisfy both research and industry is already there. There are some examples of that. What we have to do is to go beyond the conversations to actually pursue initiatives that we can actually test out and have those good examples. As Jamie said in his keynote, we want also few examples of the success stories that we can share. So that's very clear. The other point, which Marilyn did say, which was why I was expressing my anxiety, was with language. Mechanisms through which what is being said in one corner can be understood by those in the other corner is key to creating visibility for the ideas that we want to commercialize. And they are not just knowledge or ideas that we want to put out, but these are economic opportunities. And for investors to see those differently, a bunch of scientists playing around with their experiments to get papers out, but rather profit, money, and social impact. It means that language has to help to create that transformative effect. So the essence of communication was very clear in today. So these are the 2 points I want to share.
Thank you so much, Gamali. That's wonderful. Doc, I think we'll go to you now. We'd just like to discuss your reflections on today's session and what you're taking back with you, and what programs or what initiatives can you co-design?
Okay, so my name is Ofura Santieje, the Greater Accra Regional Director of the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. So then, so you said we've sat in to the end. Yes. So as government, it is my responsibility, or it's our responsibility, to ensure that private sector industries obtain R&D, obtain funding to support them upscale, uptake. So then, today's discussions have been brilliant, okay, from a few perspectives. So first and foremost, our attempt to group players in the industry according to 4 broad areas. So there's government, there is industry, there is academia, as well as research institutions, and there is private funding institutions, okay? So then, first and foremost, as government, we need to create the enabling environment. So we need to study, we need to do a proper assessment of the needs of these stakeholders, of the opportunities of these stakeholders. That is why platforms like the GRIC is very important, okay? Because it is helping to bridge the gap between all these, or amongst all these stakeholders. But then one critical issue that came up was access to funding. R&D is very expensive. And when the research is available, even patenting it is expensive. Marketing it, creating the need for it involves money. So when the need has been created, uptaking it also requires money. So then there is the need for us as players to push government. Government indicated that it was going to do more than 3% of our GDP to R&D. We need to encourage government. We need to push such that if we can get like 5 or 6%, that would be. Without R&D, you can't develop. It's doable. Without R&D, without technology, you can't develop. So that you can have all these fancy initiatives, blah, 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 blah. But if there's no R&D, if there's no technology, so then we can encourage government, we can speak to government to make the funding available. Okay, that is one initiative we can take. Another initiative is to package these viable initiatives, these viable researches into bankable projects private investors will buy into. As I indicated in the morning, there's a lot of funding floating. People are sitting on millions of cities in their bedrooms. They don't know what to use the money for. That's how come it got to a time, it culminated in some of these. Then we had the banking sector clean up, and people were losing monies to investment which they shouldn't have invested in. But then if some of these projects had been packaged into investment opportunities, people would have invested their monies into some of these. But then there is no clear-cut investment opportunities with respect to some of these initiatives. So then there is the need for us to package some of these initiatives into bankable projects. Additionally as I indicated, we should be able to create a platform such that institutions, let me say private businesses, are able to walk to R&D institutions, sit with them, tell them their challenges for them to get the needed support. Someone indicated that, what if I'm in the informal sector? I've had formal education. Does that mean I'm cut off? No. But then if there are these platforms, these opportunities, these channels, the person knows that no matter the challenge I'm having, technology can solve it. R&D can solve it. The person feels free to approach any university, any research institution to sit with them for them to help him or her address some of these challenges. So in a nutshell, these are some of the things we can do to help our industries.
Thank you so much, Mr. Foreji. I think one thing is I would like to reiterate is that for us here from the universities, we need to be able to open up ourselves to the informal sector as well. There's always a tendency to try to deal with only those who are from the formal side and know what they're doing, have themselves figured out. But I think, we need to open ourselves to the informal sector as well. Mr. MC has prompted me that we have 5 more minutes remaining. I'd like to do one more round of questioning, and this is very specific and unique to all of us sitting here individually. We've explored the gaps in the industry. We've discussed our reflections from today, but we'll come here next year. I know for a fact, maybe not here, maybe here, I don't know for sure, but I would like to take something home. I would like to find out how each of us, where we sit, intend to challenge these gaps that we've raised. At least just one initiative that when we come back next year, we can ask ourselves, okay, we came here at the GRIC Annual Forum, we saw this gap, and we went back home, and then we tried to do something about it. I'll start from you, Mr. Foreji, then we can end with Marilyn.
Okay, so I saw an action plan. I don't know whether it's a proposal or we've actually started putting up an action plan. Because we are supposed to have all these discussions as inputs into the action plan. Because without an action plan, the action plan is supposed to serve as a guide for us to achieve something. So then if there is no action plan, we can first have an action plan. We can increase collaboration between the different stakeholders in the implementation of this particular action plan. And also we can also, sometimes we see R&D and technology as something very big, very huge. But then there are existing R&Ds, there are existing technologies which we can build upon. So as I indicated in the morning, there is the need for us to increase awareness on some of these researches and also encourage people to use some of these researches. So bottom line is we need to first come out with an action plan, with input from forums like this. And we speak to government, we speak to development partners, we speak to other relevant partners for us to come together to implement this particular action plan.
Okay, Thank you so much, Mr. Forage. So I know that you are supporting the GRIC Collaborative Action Plan in its implementation. Okay, thank you. Gamli, over to you.
Yeah, so I guess from Riser's point of view, having supported GRIC for the past 3 years or so, just borrowing from my colleagues' playbook in terms of identifying what these priorities are for the collaborative going forward and building that system of support around that for long-term sustainability. I mean, Riser is on his last legs as in his current manifestation, let me put it this way. And so it will be important to also identify some of the success stories. I know that GRIC, for example, is supporting a commercialization of some selected innovations, capturing where we are on that journey, sharing those success stories, attracting support for that, because we want to come back into this forum next year to share examples of those successes. That is what will inspire people to continue on this trajectory. We also partner with University of Ghana Business School. We have other partners. Success stories from their initiatives. We want to be able to identify those success stories and share back in the forum for people to follow. Then from an institutional point of view, institutional and ecosystem point of view, given that Riser is really focused on system strengthening work, the topic we discussed on the panel that I moderated, early stage financing, has been identified as a very key topic. So there are conversations around that. I've been involved in at least 2 conversations around that this year already, this being my 3rd. We'll continue those conversations. Insights gathered from this forum will be going into other sessions. Next week, we will be at the commercialization of an entrepreneurial institutional leader summit in Kenya, and also the BEST Forum. Given that those fora are where we are going to engage more with a lot of policymakers in Kenya and then also in Ghana. So some of the ideas that people are putting out around co-creating funding mechanisms. I think in some other session that we talked about crowdfunding, sorry, not crowdfunding, but micro grants for early stage projects. Those types of initiatives, we want to recommend them to the policymakers through direct engagements, but also telling some of the success stories through the media and also through online platforms as well, and making those recommendations widely accessible, because we want to be able to encourage the institutions, the universities, the ecosystem players, government to adapt some of these solutions as well. And the final point I want to make in relation to that is, of course, the National Research Fund now coming on stream, that advocacy around, I know that there are plans for innovation to be included within the kind of programs that is funded. So that advocacy around the structures that can better support innovation, the early stage innovators, the kinds that we work with, I think that all of us should be committed to coming up with specific recommendations that can be employed. So those are some of the things that I will be championing, and I believe Riser Fund will be supporting me to champion. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's very wonderful. So Gamali and Riser Fund is going to be helping with visibility for success stories. They are going to be engaging our own policy makers to be able to take some of the recommendations we have made over here to them to see which ones they can move. And Riser Fund will also continue with the advocacy they've been doing from the very beginning into the National Research Fund in its deployment. Thank you so much, Gamali. Marilyn, we'll take the last one from you, then we can call it a day.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm leaving you with innovation. It's not just about intervention. It is about translation. The translation of ideas into impact, and translation requires partnership. We can't do it alone. If today has shown us anything, it is not that when we act together, research does not gather dust. It gathers momentum. That's my final word.
That's beautiful. Please let's give everybody on the panel a very large round of applause. Thank you so much for having us. Mr. MC, over to you.
Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause, especially when I have been standing here giving all the precious of time. They are taking their panel, official panel photograph. I think they deserve another round of applause. And well done, moderator, for soaking in the pressure, and panelists for giving us your insights. This is the GRIC Annual Forum 2025 with the theme Catalyzing Innovation Through Partnership, transforming research into scalable solutions for industry and society. And we are here at the British Council Liberia Road in Accra, Ghana. The time is 4:34. I think we've done well. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. And it is now time for the closing remarks. And we have none other to do that than the chair of GRIC Steering Committee, Professor Ernest Ofori Asamoah.
Thank you. I think you should just appreciate yourself. Before I will do it once for you. It's been an amazing journey, a lot of discussions, very informative, very interactive, and a lot of networking. That really reminds the team, which is catalyzing innovation through partnership. And I could realize that the emphasis is really on partnership, which leads to scaling up businesses and impacting on society. I want to thank you once again for your time. I live from 8 o'clock. Some of you were here even around 7, up to 4, almost getting to 5. It's been amazing, and we really appreciate that. I want to thank the organizers, the speakers, the moderators, and everybody. We really appreciate your time, your commitment to this partnership. As we conclude here, I'll continue to urge us to continue to collaborate, let's innovate, and build businesses, sustainable ones, of course, that make impact and transform Africa and our countries. GRIC will continue to serve as a bridge, as we actually indicated during most of them, rather being a strong bridge, because we can have a weak bridge. But GRIC will continue to serve as a strong bridge for us to lead each other, to be able to translate research to a friendly use and make institutions available for we to connect and build businesses. As we conclude here, I want you to continue that. Let's build the business pipelines and build a continuum that goes through the various value chain and ensure that the interests of investors and industry are met even as we research, so that we don't research at one end whilst investors or businesses also look at different ends. I conclude by urging you that if you haven't, your institution have not signed on to the GRIC platform, we want to formalize it, to have a formal association so that members, what we do is that every quarter we have a virtual meeting on the platform from industry associations. And so if you haven't signed on, we may not be able to invite you. This annual forum is once, but we do have quarterly forums where a lot of issues are discussed. And also for researchers, probably to ensure that you get to the secretariat if you want your research to be translated into industry-friendly, you get it so that the secretariat, GRIC secretariat, can support you in that aspect. And we'll continue by next year to continue building successful case studies, translating the talks and the various discussions into actual businesses so that we can showcase successful businesses that can come through through research and, of course, some support from us. And I want to urge you that let's continue the discussion, let's continue the partnership, let's continue to innovate and create the businesses that our continent needs. Once again, thank you so much for being part of this discussion and this partnership. I wish you the very best, the rest of the day. The day has already ended, but the very best of the rest. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof. And that would have been the end, but there is a beautiful announcement to be delivered by Julius. So, Julius, kindly give us the announcement in 1 minute. We really are excited, and we would like to live in an excitement mood.
Okay, sure. So with that high-level expectation, we want to announce that we have a learning workshop coming today's week, so 9th September. So we'll share the link with you. It's on the soldier, there's a black soldier fly. And so the sense is that there's this technology that would help in the feed industry or the feed production industry. So that is one. And then we also have a well-curated training program, which is on taking innovation from the labs to the market. And we are organizing this in partnership with the CSR College of Science and Technology, and then the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. This is a program spread over 2 weeks, each day, for 6 days, spread over 2 weeks. So each day we are doing 3 hours, and the goal is that we want to handhold you from your ideation stage, if that's what you have, up to the place where you take it to market. The goal is that we want to train at most 40 innovators or researchers. So this is the first of its kind that we are doing to boost the pathways towards commercialization. And it comes at a cost of 2,000 Ghana cedis. We are offering a discount. We are yet to settle on the amount for the discount, and so please take note. It starts on the 1st of October. So from now up till 30th September, we are taking a list of innovators that are promising. And so we ask that you make your money ready or you share the good news, and then we all grow to make the ecosystem sounder and better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On that note, that brings us to the end, but the beginning of GRIC Annual Forum 2025, catalyzing innovation through partnerships, transforming research into scalable solutions for industry and society. I am Ibrahim Kwame Asante, and I'm humbly open for business. Thank you. I work with the CSIR. Okay, let's go. One, Atama, Abema, Ramako. So Atama is 1 clap, Abema 4 claps, Ramako 10 claps. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Safe journey, and see you again.